So I'm not sure what the issues are that you're having specifically, because since I'm not there with you and I haven't seen what your files look like before, so I'm not quite sure what the issue is that you're having. So I shoot both natural light, and I'll use off-camera flash. Occasion I'll be in the studio. So there's different reasons for your images coming out soft, but the camera that you're using is superior to mine by a long shot. I shoot with a Canon 5D, which is full frame, but it's nowhere near the image quality or the sharpness that your Nikon is. And I am shooting with L lenses, but even the Nikon lenses, in my opinion, are clearer, better color, and sharper than the Canon lenses that I'm using. So, and I have, Nikon's pretty damn good at nailing focus, and I'm sure that you know the basics of making sure you focus on the eyes and all this other stuff that's elementary, and I'm sure so I'm going to make a few assumptions, but feel free to message me if there's something that I missed or something that I say that you don't know the concept of, which is possible, but I doubt it, because you're very, very good at what you do. The only thing that I can think of is natural light shooters, when you're shooting into the sun or you're shooting into a very bright areas, such as this photo that I've pulled up here. It's going to be hazy. Even if it's just slightly hazy, it's going to be hazy, and it looks a little bit soft because of the haze. So this image is actually in very good focus, but it's a little bit hazy. So I always shoot in RAW. I never shoot JPEG unless it's I'm going to my nephew's baseball game and I'm just shooting pictures for fun or whatever. If I'm doing portraits, I always use RAW. So this is Adobe Camera Raw in Photoshop, and what I do is I'll just take and I will dehaze a little bit, just enough to pull the haze out of it and bring that sharpness out and the contrast and the color that I want. Now I'm sure the clarity, the dehaze sliders will both affect the skin tones and the colors, because it's some places it's increasing saturation, some places it's it's doing these little Photoshop magic things. So if you go too far, it's going to start to change things, and then you go the other way, it just bleaches it out, which if you're doing artistic stuff, sometimes you want to bleach it out a little bit, but in this case we just want to take and pull the haze out. So usually somewhere between 25 and 30% usually will still pretty well preserve the skin tone, but sharpen it up nicely by pulling that haze out, because the image is sharp, it's in good focus, it's just hazy. So then now we've got and this is straight out of the camera with just taking and adjusting the haze a little bit. Now I'm sure you, like me, have watched a million videos and know all the little tricks with Camera Raw and adjusting your contrast and all that other stuff. We all do things a little bit differently as to how you want them to look. So if there's all kinds of simple little things that you can do to really pull your images out. And I don't know how much experience you have with Photoshop. I've been using Photoshop for 15 years, so more than that. So if there's anything that I can help with there, I will. I will send you the link to the guy who I think is the absolute best Photoshop instructor on YouTube, and I've learned a lot from him. Over the years I've been watching him since he first started his page, and now he's huge, but he's very, very good. So the other thing that I do with my images, every one of my images, I will run a high pass filter over. Now I've got all kinds of actions, some that I've gotten from places and some that I've created myself, but I do have a high pass action that I do, and it sharpens it up quite a bit, and I can send that to you if you like. But that will take and add a little bit of sharpness to the image as well. It will just that simple high pass layer takes, and it just makes it a little bit crisp. I always take and do skin smoothing and all that other stuff, taking out these blemishes and little things. This is under the Bay St. Louis Bridge. Love that spot. I'll do these photos in the evening with all the lights of the bridge and the reflections off the water, especially in the autumn when the moon is reflecting off the water. Really, really cool. So I had Victoria down there, and she doesn't have perfect skin, so I'll go in and do the blemishes and do the skin smoothing and stuff. You want to do that before you do, you don't have to do it before you dehaze, because you're going to do that in Camera Raw, but before you do all your sharpening, color correcting, all of that other stuff, you want to do your healing and all that other things. And if I say anything that you already know, I apologize, because I've worked with photographers that were very, very talented that did not know much about Photoshop because they just had no interest in messing with it, and I've worked with others that were just phenomenal with Photoshop. So that is just one simple thing. I don't want this video to get too long. That is just one simple thing, is the dehaze and then the high pass, and that will usually clean up your images pretty well. Even if they are a little soft, say your camera caught focus on the end of her nose instead of her eyes, a lot of times that high pass will bring the eyes out and sharpen them up enough to where as well as I do that the client most of the time does not see the quality issues that we see. So generally, if you get the eyes reasonably sharp and other stuff, then the client is going to be just ecstatic. I could deliver this picture to Victoria's grandmother who raised her, and she would be just ecstatic. She would not see the shortcomings that you and I might see in this image. So that's all I've got for this one. If you want, just let me know, and I will take an image like this and I will go start to finish with everything that I do, if you like, and I'll give you the links. I'll send you the link to that instructor that I was telling you about. So I really do enjoy your work, and I enjoy our interactions over Instagram, and I can't wait to meet you in person. And I really appreciate your time and your long distance friendship. Take care.